I'm here today with Kat Hoyt from the Darien Chamber of Commerce, the director of the Darien Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for joining me.
I'm a firm believer that it was kind of divine intervention. And was really passionate about small businesses and helping our community grow. We cover the city of Darien and McIntosh County on all of its business owners and nonprofits and individuals. We're also the destination marketing organization for the city of Darien and McIntosh County, promoting how beautiful it is and how wonderful it is to visit.
Awesome.
And then we're also the hosts of the biggest event in McIntosh, the Blessing of the Fleet. We have a legendary river monster, which is the Ultima Haha, affectionately known as Altie, and has become Georgia's #1 cryptid. I say it's the last Mayberry on the coast.
There you go.
Where you still go everywhere. People know your name. You're greeted by people as you're walking down the street. It's a great place to live, and it is. We see a lot of people that are starting to move there or look at it that are wanting a little quieter, a little slower. We're just trying to, keep that feeling.
Welcome back to another episode of the Southern Executive Experience. I'm your host, Jamie Johnson. I'm here today with Kat Hoyt from the Darien Chamber of Commerce, the director of the Darien Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. We just had our ribbon cutting in Darien yesterday, so it's kind of good timing for you to come in and let's talk a little bit.
Yeah, it was so great to celebrate y'all's new endeavor.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited about it. People are actually yesterday. I didn't realize this till after a little afternoon. Yesterday was the 1 year since we delivered our first machine.
That's amazing. What a great timing there.
It was awesome. But first off, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of what led you to what got you to become the director of the Chamber of Commerce in Darien?
I'm a firm believer that it was kind of divine intervention. I have been many people in many lives, it feels like. I have been a stay-at-home wife and a nanny and worked in daycare. But I was working for the Heritage Bank as their cash management officer and serving on the Darien Chamber board when this position opened up, and had volunteered a lot and been part of the chamber and was really passionate about small businesses and helping our community grow. And the board at the time asked me to apply, and here we are almost 3 years later.
Awesome. Well, can you take us through some of your responsibilities that you do at the chamber?
Yeah, so we have a lot of responsibilities for our chamber because we're a smaller chamber. So we cover not only the official Darien McIntosh County Chamber, so we cover the city of Darien and McIntosh County on all of its business owners and nonprofits and individuals. We're also the destination marketing organization for the city of Darien and McIntosh County. So we do all of the advertising and the tourism asset development for McIntosh and Darien and promoting how beautiful it is and how wonderful it is to visit.
Awesome.
And then we're also the hosts of the biggest event in McIntosh, the Blessing of the Fleet.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I think we're going to talk a little more about that in a little bit. But what are your biggest challenges? I know you said like you're at a small chamber in a small town, but a lot of business in that town still. And what are your biggest challenges as the director with the chamber?
Funding is always a problem. That's the issue for everybody, trying to stay within a budget. We have a smaller budget and trying to make sure we can help everybody in the best way possible. Engagement sometimes can be difficult, making sure we get our community active and engaged in the activities that we're doing and the efforts that we're putting in place. But sometimes just awareness of what we do when our events are. I joke that I could fly a banner plane through the sky and somebody would still tell me, I didn't know you guys were doing that.
Right. That's funny.
But luckily our community is really supportive of the chamber. They're very excited about our events, and all of our partners within the community, the city, the county, the DDA, the IDA, are really great partners of ours. So it does make it a lot easier. Awesome.
And I usually send some questions over beforehand, but I didn't do that this time.
On the fly.
That's right. We're gonna do all this on the fly a little bit. So, what does the chamber do to support businesses in the county?
We do a lot of engagement and networking. We're really trying to work on making sure all of our businesses know of the connections that are available to them, ensuring that that they're aware of all their resources. So we have a landing page on our info hub, which is our members access page, where we put small business association information, legislative information. We try to keep that up to date. We also try to advocate for our businesses. Obviously, that's the chamber's #1 role, advocate within our county and our city and our state, and even up to DC to make sure that our small business community is supported. But the networking is probably our biggest role right now.
That's pretty much what I've always gotten most out of a chamber, and I've been able to come up there for a few things, and I want to do more. I know that was an awesome business after hours last year at Darien telephone.
That one's always amazing.
Yeah, that one was good. That one was really good. The biggest thing, that was cool about that to me is every employee you talk to for Darien telephone, they all have been there for 20, 30 years. It's like every single, I'm sure they've got some younger or some people that aren't as tenured, but it was really neat that they had been there so long.
They're such an incredible company. They've been in business for over 100 years, and it's still family owned and operated, which is so unique.
Absolutely.
Especially for a telephone company and a TV company. And they've even expanded, and they have a partnership with Coastal Electric, and they provide broadband internet. But you're right. The culture there is so incredible. Miss Mary Lou, who is the owner, is the most wonderful woman, and you can tell that all of the employees love working there.
She's real sweet. I've had a chance to meet her a couple of times. Yeah, she's real sweet. Anything at all that you would what if you somebody that's in Darien or somebody that wants to be involved with the chamber, what's the best way to do that?
Come talk to us.
Yep.
We run the visitor center there off of 251. It's a beautiful new building. It's just coming up on 3 years old too.
Yep.
We love having people come and talk to us. Our website has all of our contact information on it, and the same with our Facebook page. We try to keep things active and engaged. But we want to see everybody come talk to us. Come to an event. We try to make sure our arms are always open to welcome people in.
Yeah, absolutely. Y'all very much of friendly people over there. So y'all are all really nice. And I tell you, we enjoyed yesterday. We got a little break, I guess. We got to hang out and talk a little bit. And,
yeah.
I got to meet everybody that works for the chamber. That was awesome. Let me ask you, so we were talking a little bit further a little while ago about some of the things and events y'all have during the year. And you mentioned the Blessing of the Fleet. What is that? Can you explain that to our viewers?
It is our big 3-day festival, and we are very unique in that we still celebrate a 3-day blessing that is based on the tides. So Friday, we kick it off with vendors and live music. Saturday, there's a 5K, a street parade, a family fishing event, more live music. This year, we have the McIntosh County Ring Shouters back to perform. And then we'll close it out Friday night with more live entertainment. Our headliner is Lydia Simons. She's from Nashville. She's coming down to perform for us. And then, big show of fireworks Saturday night. But Sunday's what it's all about. Sunday's the reason that we do this. We have a morning worship service to kick us off in the morning. This year we have a marker dedication, a historical marker dedication that's being done at 11. But at 1 o'clock is the big show, which is the actual blessing of our shrimp boat fleet. Commercial fishing is the heartbeat of McIntosh County. It's one of our largest industries.
Right.
And they pull up to the Darien River Bridge where they're blessed by our local ministerial team. And it's an incredible feat of maritime skill that they can hold the boat there on an outgoing tide.
Right.
And they back up, turn around, and the next boat comes up. We just try to show them our respect and our appreciation for the hard work that they do. Our commercial shipping industry has faced many, many hurdles over the years, one of the biggest being import shrimp, and we just want to show them that we support them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you were just going over, y'all have some sponsorship opportunities, you were saying, for this event?
We do. We try to keep costs low for attendees and vendors. So we do that by having partners, incredible sponsor partners that help us do that. We have it for all budgets. It's a great advertising opportunity. Last year we had about 12,000 people in Darien that weekend. So
12,000 people?
12,000 people.
Man, how many people are normally in Darien? What's the
about 12 to 1,400?
I was about to say. So yeah, that's quite an influx of a population.
It's quite a boom to the community. Parking can be an issue. But it's always really fun, and it's such a special event, and everybody just enjoys it and comes together as a community to celebrate.
Awesome. And what other events or functions do y'all put on throughout the year? I mean, I guess business after hours are one. So
we do business after hours, coffee and connect. Those are our two main networking events. We alternate those every other month.
Okay.
We changed up our lunch and learns this year to something called Desserts and Development.
Right.
So we moved it to an evening learning opportunity to kind of better accommodate our business's schedule. We have a lot of owner operators, so trying to make sure they can attend.
Right.
But our bigger events are kind of where we shine. We have our Altie Awards and Chamber Gala in the beginning of the year, where we do our community awards and give a chamber update. Then we have Blessing of the Fleet.
Right.
In the May, we have our new State of the Community Breakfast. It's a partnership with all of the organizations in McIntosh that kind of lead the community. So the Board of Education, the Sheriff's Department, the county, the city, the IDA, the DDA, and the chamber are all in one place at one time, telling the story of what the plan is for the coming year and what's been achieved in the previous year.
Awesome.
And then the fun ones like the golf tournament and the auction and Red, White, and Blue on the Bluff. Lots of fun things.
Sounds like it. Well, you mentioned one thing that I was going to have. I always get you to tell me about this because I always forget from time to time. But I love the story of Altie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Altie.
So can you tell the story of the famous Loch Ness type monster that lives in and around the waters of Darien?
Yeah, so we have a legendary river monster, which is the Altamaha. Stories go back to the 1800s that started with a sea captain, and it was actually published in the New York Post of this creature that he saw in the Altamaha River. They say he has this barrel back with ridges and a neck that comes up and out of the water. It is now affectionately known as Altie and has become Georgia's #1 cryptid.
Awesome.
And so it's fun to kind of promote Altie and share a fun story and hopefully get people out on our waterways and enjoying the ecotourism that's amazing in McIntosh.
That's neat. I wonder when the last sighting of Altie was.
I had a family come in not too long ago. So it's probably 15, 20 years ago that he said he was kayaking with his grandson right off of the Champney boat launch. And between him and his grandson, something came up out of the water, and he says he saw Altie.
Man alive, no manatees. It was probably Altie. It was probably Altie.
Most people believe that he's a sturgeon.
Yep.
But the story goes that it is a baby Loch Ness monster that followed the Scottish Highlanders over when they settled in Darien and became the protector of Darien, and lives in the Altamaha River Basin, protecting our community from any foes.
Awesome. Well, it's always good to have a protector.
We're very fortunate.
That is neat. I need to bring my 10-year-old. She'd love that thing. She Mary Charles. She would love that story, and she'd probably see it too. So.
Oh, and people love coming into the visitor center. We have a recreation of what Altie is supposed to look like there. And this past year, we even came up with Altie Hunter T-shirts for people to have and make it kind of fun.
That is cool. Oh, real quick. You mentioned the visitor center in y'all's office. I know you had mentioned to me y'all have a conference room.
We do.
That y'all can offer to your chamber members and maybe people in the community and to help to have different functions in and things like that. Y'all have an awesome building.
We have an incredible building. So the visitor center in the front is always available for casual meetings. We have a full-service coffee shop in the visitor center, which is kind of unique. So it's a great place if you need to stop and just have a quick chat in neutral territory.
Right.
But also for our members, we have a 14-person boardroom that's available for free for all of our members. They just need to call and reserve it.
Right.
And then for non-members, we charge a nominal $50 an hour fee.
Gotcha. I think that's something that I've even mentioned it to Bob yesterday. I think when you have meetings and stuff, I may take you up on that.
Please do. We love having people use the building.
That'd be awesome. We don't actually have a location there, so that would work out great for us. So, anything else as far as news or any announcements or anything you've got going on or stuff you want the people to know?
Yeah, we're actually really excited about an event that's coming up next week.
Okay.
A year and a half ago, we launched McIntosh Grows in partnership with our Industrial Development Authority and the Board of Education.
Okay.
And that is our workforce development and youth engagement program, trying to get the business community into our schools and help make our students more aware of the incredible opportunities that are in McIntosh.
Awesome.
There seems to be this belief that if they want to have a good job, they have to leave McIntosh County.
Right.
And that's absolutely not the case. We have incredible opportunities in McIntosh, but also in our neighboring communities of, Glenn County and Long County and Liberty and Bryan County. They could live, work, play right here.
Right.
So we started lots of programs. We read at the elementary school. We're taking the high school students on different excursions. They actually get to go to the Iceman Hockey Arena on Wednesday night and see a game.
Oh, cool.
A select group. But
Yeah.
what we're most excited about is the middle school students are going to get to compete in the National Civics Bee. We're a local host, so we've been coordinating with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce for this event. And so the National Civics Bee has come to McIntosh. The kids will get to compete on Thursday night and test their civics knowledge.
I was about to say, it's like a quiz competition? Is that what that is? Or about civics?
Yeah, it's about civics. So they'll
Okay.
answer 2 rounds of multiple choice questions about different civics questions. How many senators does each state have? Who is second in line for presidential succession?
Right.
And with that, they'll go to the next round, which is the live question round, where they all submitted essays to compete. And the judges will ask them questions about their essays. And they had to identify a problem in the community, identify people who would help them, and then what principle of civics that they would use to solve that problem.
That's cool. And it's happening in Darien?
Yeah, so it's happening. McIntosh County Academy is going to host us on Thursday night at 5:30. The kids will get to compete. We're trying to, show our support and make it a big, exciting event for them to compete in. What they're most excited about is that first place will win $500. Second place wins $250. Third place $125, and all 3 of those get to go to Atlanta to compete in June.
Cool. That's cool. This, we were lucky enough, and I guess this year we sponsored the boys basketball team, and they was awesome. Them making it all the way to state and came real close, but they did really good. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there.
Oh, they
give them
fought
a
their
shout
hearts out. We were so proud of our boys basketball team. First time ever making it to state for the MCA boys team.
Oh yeah.
They definitely fought their hearts out. I mean, ending a basketball game 52-58, they fought for that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And one thing I was going to mention, and something that I'm hearing a lot of talk about, I hear people are really starting to move to Darien. Like I hear it's getting exciting, and like when you talk to somebody, especially from St. Simons, they're like where they want to go. People want to move to Darien. They say I've heard so many people say they're looking there these days.
Yeah.
It's such a pretty community, and it's more, it's such a quaint little town. It's more of a homey feel than, home. It feels like home more than a bigger, like the St. Simons or even Brunswick,
I say it's the last Mayberry on the coast.
There you go.
Where you still go everywhere. People know your name. You're greeted by people as you're walking down the street.
Mm-hmm.
Our local wine bar becomes, the cheers of Darien.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so great. It's a great place to live. And it is. We see a lot of people that are starting to move there or look at it that are wanting a little quieter, a little slower. We're just trying to, keep that feeling.
There you go. Everybody doesn't need to go.
We don't want everybody at once.
That's right.
But we're always got our arms open to welcome our fellow neighbors.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. If there anything else you'd like to share or mention today?
No, I mean, we've just been so lucky to have such a great community that's been supportive of the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And since 2019, we have tripled our membership. So we're up to over 300 members now.
Awesome.
And it's great to be able to start to give back to our community in different ways and really focus on new initiatives and programs because we have the manpower to do that.
Well, if you ever have anything you want to announce, you need to. We'd love to have you back. Thank you so much for coming on, Kat. I really appreciate it. Everybody else, thank you for watching the Southern Executive Experience, and tune in next time.
Thank you.
See? Quick and easy.
Easy peasy.